Welcome to Happy Wife, Happy Life. We're your hosts. I'm Kendahl Landreth.
And I'm Jordan Myrick.
And we are two incredibly unqualified,
but deeply in love comedians who are here to help you with all things relationships. And on today's episode, we are talking toxic masculinity with Kevin McDonald.
Hi, guys.
Kevin, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
We're so happy to have you. I know you as the sexy mailman from Monet's show on Dropout, Monet's Slumber Party.
For sure.
And you truly were a star in that because
we were taken aback. When we saw the premiere, we were taken aback.
Truly, when you walked in, we're lesbians. I grabbed Jordan's wrist and was like, damn.
We said, who is that?
I have two thoughts. to that. First of all, the amount of like street cred I got from doing that show is insurmountable. Like I got to hang in a room, say nothing with some funny comedians, let them do their work, and then people come to me and be like, "You were great." I'm like, "Thank you." I know, it's part of the family.
That was perfect.
But also, I was listening to your episode with Cameron Esposito, and y'all were talking about what was it like? Just like the masculine presence of a man despite being a lesbian.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was like, a lesbian compliment is the best compliment because what else do they have that they could possibly be interested in me?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Like, what do I have to offer a lesbian? Nothing. But now I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe
You could lift me over
maybe
your
they're
head.
still, you know?
Do you think?
With the right kind of stretching, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, I still think it was a devastating. I should not have asked that question. It could really teach you up to be like, no.
Yeah.
Honestly, lifting someone else, it more relies on the core strength of the person being lifted.
Sure.
So if you can plank hard enough, if you can really hold that stable position, we're going to town.
And that's something to work toward.
That is.
I love that. No, I do think that a lesbian compliment is the best compliment for a man because there is nothing I want from you.
100%.
There is nothing I want from you whatsoever. So if I'm giving you a compliment, it's just because it's real and I want to give it to you.
Well, and whenever I think, I've known many men who have been like, well, I've dated 3 lesbians and I broke up with me and then I found out later they were gay. And I'm like, I think that's actually a huge compliment because we're always as people attracted to just the worst types of people. Like there's so many exes I have that I'm like, they were not even attractive. And I was absolutely doing anything for them. And they had the most mediocre personality just because I'm gay and they were a person that I just was super attracted to. So when you date a man, I feel like in high school, as a lesbian, you'll date guys or have crushes on guys that are just really good people or objectively attractive, where I can look at you and go like, well, I can tell you're hot and I'm supposed to like you, so...
Because society says that you are the optimal. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, absolutely. So people know you from the internet as a personal training influencer.
Unfortunately, those words are together in a sentence.
Listen, it's embarrassing to say out loud. I have to say it sometimes. I say, and comedian and content creator. It feels not good, but, you got to make the money.
Actually, can I like point you out and compliment you specifically in this moment for a second?
Of course.
And then we'll do me next.
If I feel like it. So I was watching Gastronauts and
Thank you.
I had this like revelation because it's such a fun show. Rarely with like food content is there joy involved. Rarely do you have like a group of people coming together to just have fun with food and make it delicious and cool and like unique. And your content specifically is so much fun to watch. And I think that's so rare. Maybe it's my like personal training circles where it's just a lot of people telling you how to make shitty ice cream out of a banana.
Sure.
But it's really nice to see.
That's so sweet. I totally get what you're saying. I think a lot of food content lives in the worlds of either elitist or perverted is kind of what it feels like. And I try to get somewhere in the middle,
Well, and I even, having been on set of Gastronauts, and stop me if there's anything I shouldn't be saying, but I found the chefs would come in and they were stressed to the max. And I was like, just in the green room and they'd be like almost brought to tears, so nervous. as if and I would have to be like, no, it's really not gonna be stressful.
Yeah.
And I feel like by the end, all the chefs were like, this was so fun. Sorry, I was so weird in the beginning when I got here. I thought someone was gonna like yell at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, food shows and the food world is really intense.
Food is intense.
Yeah, I also feel like there, and when I say perverted, I both mean sexual, but also I think there's like a lot of weird perversion around food in the dieting space, or like with like mukbangs and things like that. Like,
well, I mean, that's what happens when you restrict things. Like when you restrict things so much, it becomes just like, I don't know, just like
sexual.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking of like just religious people in the devil, how they like just obsess over finding something that's satanic. It's like you're now like this is no longer a healthy anything. You're obsessed with this.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't know. The food space is so weird. So I'm glad that you like what I do. That's so nice.
I know it's special to me. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
I wish
so
more people
much.
did.
And I also do want to acknowledge you also take a lot of extremely sexy pictures.
Thank you. I try very hard every day.
It is working. Please plug your Patreon so people can go look at them.
Oh my gosh. Oh God, it's linked everywhere. Yeah, your friend Kevin on Patreon. I take sexy lewd photos, but you ain't gonna see no nudes. That's too far.
Okay.
Too far.
Would you ever show penis or hole?
I have. Okay, so people support me enough for me not to do it.
That's very nice.
So if I come to a point in my life where I'm not being supported
Don't
enough,
say that. People are going to start unsubscribing. They're like, if we all unsubscribe,
if we all strike, your fans
this
unionize.
is America,
so
baby.
Boycotts
Boycotts don't work, baby.
Sure,
This is
okay.
America. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I am doing fine enough now where I'm like, there's no need. Yeah. And if I get to a point where someone offers so much money or it's so camp, like if someone's like, you're going to play this role, it's going to be iconic and you're going to get paid this much, I'll be like, well, we can't turn down a great opportunity.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I'm doing fine right now. So there's really no need to. And who wants to appeal to the people who only want to see you after you've given them everything?
Wow. And that's kind of, we can actually just wrap it up here. That's kind of the advice of the episode.
There you go. That's the end of it.
Are you surprised? Like if you told yourself many years ago you'd be kind of a fitness influencer, would you have been shocked?
No. Yes. I would have never believed, just because I'm so insecure in like so many aspects of what I do that like if back then you would have said that, I'd been like, anyone wants to listen or look? I don't think so. That doesn't sound like something I believe in.
What's going on with gay men? Why are you guys so insecure?
Oh my gosh, name an issue and like it applies. I
just feel like you guys are so popular. Like I feel like lesbians are so secure and there's really a lot of lesbian hate out in the world.
Well, but Regina George wasn't secure. She had more insecurities than anybody.
Okay.
So I guess that's how I feel about gay men. They're so popular, but then deep down they have a lot of insecurities.
I think it all comes down to like sex and power. Like when you come out as a woman, there's not a lot of like sexual drive that inspires it. Like it has to come from inside. It has to come from like what you love, what you're interested in. Where gay men, like a masculine red-blooded male, just kind of wants to stick their dick in whatever they want. Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, you can say that.
Oh, I can say dick. Awesome.
We've already begged for you to show a hole,
so
I'm thinking
you'll be showing hole at the end of the episode.
Anyway, well, listen,
the money's
right.
Yeah.
I'm not above it. But yeah, like I just feel men are so like sexually forced to come to terms with what they want earlier in life. Yeah. And so that brings them to a point of just more recklessness that you would get from a woman in their coming out story. But yeah, with men, like they're all going through a hard time right now, right? Like it's just the world is changing and they don't know what to do. And I think gay men are caught in that because they used to be cool, they used to be fashionable, and now they're just guys who don't really do much to provide to society outside of support Gaga and her endeavors.
I really feel like there is some, and I'm not a gay man, so maybe I shouldn't be speaking on this, but from an outside point of view.
We're clipping this.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
I think there must be something really hard about
hot. Yeah, definitely.
Really hot. Sorry. Something really hot and hard about going to high school and like the Midwest or the middle of the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
Well, maybe once we get to the Bible Belt, it's no longer really fun. But if we're in the middle of the Midwest and you're like the one gay guy at the school and everyone's like, you should be a comedian. And it's like, no, I just paint my nails. Like, I'm not even saying a joke. Like, that's not something funny.
Yeah.
And you kind of cultivate this personality where it's like your personality is that you are gay. And then you move to LA or you move to New York and everyone's kind of like, yeah, we're all kind of doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, totally. Like when someone points at you and says you're different, you have two paths where you like reject it and you say, no, I'm actually the same as everybody else. And you're the gay one. And then you just crumble and go to therapy 20 years later. Or you can like, the other alternative is what? To like, you're right. And I'm going to dye my hair blue. And then you become this like this ire for other attention, and that can be traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It truly is. But I'm glad you're here today to talk about toxic masculinity.
Yes.
And I do want to start with one of our segments, which is Marry U-Haul Ghost. It's like Marry F kill. We keep forgetting to look up if you can say the F word and still be monetized on Spotify. We'll do that after this episode. I'm sorry. We just keep doing that. So Marry U-Haul. Or wait, no, it's different. I wrote the wrong thing down. What is it? Marry U-Haul.
Yeah.
Marry U-Haul.
Because we could say that.
Marry
Ghost. One night stand.
One night stand.
No. Marry.
Sorry, we
No, hey.
Is it U-Haul Ghost one night? Yeah, that's it. What it is. We're new to segments.
I just thought you guys would be more professional.
Yeah. I know, and we thought that too. Okay, we are going to kick it off with a segment that we do called U-Haul One Night Stand Ghost, which is like Marry F kill. You know, you get it. But we wanted to do it with all things that were toxically masculine.
Okay.
So U-Haul is Marry.
Mm-hmm.
One night stand is pound. And ghost is kill.
Great.
So
you know the name of the segment's good when we have to explain it so intense.
It really just rolls off the tongue.
So unclear.
You have to just try things sometimes, okay? We're starting something new. It's a new segment. It's fun. We tried to make it kind of gay. Even though I want to take a moment to remind everyone, this is not a gay podcast. This is a podcast for everyone. This is a podcast for everyone. We actually are really good at giving straight people advice, and I think that's important to remember.
See the podcast brainstorms that happen behind the scenes where we're like, literally texting our friends, being like, who's a straight person you guys like to see on our podcast?
We are trying to get any contestant from the Bachelor or Bachelorette franchise that is straight to come do the show. So if that's you, please let us know. All right. Yeah. First thing, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Clint Eastwood, and John Wayne. I looked up masculine men, and those were the first three that came up on Google.
Hell yeah.
You were the fourth, though.
You were the fourth. Yeah, right after them.
Well, something's wrong with your Google. Okay. Okay. Repeat those names for me.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Uh-huh.
Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
John Wayne.
What year is it with Clint Eastwood? Is it today where he's like a shriveled man? And
I'm not in charge of that.
Okay.
I think we're doing early 90s.
Yeah, I'm imagining them.
We're doing early 90s for all of them.
Yes.
How old was John Wayne in the early 90s?
To be honest, I don't really know who that is. So,
Kendahl. Let's say at their hottest.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna the equivalent of kill.
Ghost.
Worse.
I'm gonna ghost. Not John Wayne Gacy.
No.
John Wayne.
Just John Wayne.
Wait, I do know who John Wayne is. I know him.
I will have to say that's a mistake that makes sense because for a really long time, I was confused why the airport was called the John Wayne Gacy Airport. I was like, why does he have an airport named after him? It's the John Wayne Airport.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I need a notepad.
I know.
Okay.
This is an educational learning podcast.
This
is an educational learning podcast for straight people. Don't forget that.
I'm so sorry. I'm used to like lifting weights, not retaining information.
Absolutely. Yes, you're dumb, but you're hot. So I'll just remind you.
Thank you.
U-Haul, One Night Stand, Ghost, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, the actor, not the serial killer.
Okay. I'm going to ghost John Wayne because as masculine as he would be, he just seems like he'd be mean to me. Sure. He just seems like someone who's going to, like, he doesn't look like he's nice to his mother. And I just like, Like,
Yeah.
I know that man would just call me a slur, spank me in the ass, and put me back in the kitchen.
Okay.
It's just not something I appreciate.
Okay.
If they're gonna do that, I want more of a sexual tone to it,
Sure, sure,
not
sure.
like a hatred, dismissive
Sure.
tone.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. We gotta
Sure.
specify. I will U-Haul Arnold Schwarzenegger because what an iconic figure. Even today, people in like bodybuilding spheres see him as like the goal, and that is just like, to do that and to have your legacy last so long is just impressive.
Did you see him in the SpongeBob movie?
Of course. I have
you
2
seen
eyes and a
this?
heart, don't I?
There's literally a part of the movie where, if I remember
Wait a
correctly,
minute. No, wait. Are you talking about... Is that David
Hasselhoff?
Hasselhoff?
That's David Hasselhoff. Oh my God,
You're
it's
thinking
clear.
of
I don't
John
know
Wayne
who.
Gacy.
Here's the Joe and Gacy again.
He's in the SpongeBob movie.
No, there's a part where David Hasselhoff puts SpongeBob and Patrick between his pecs and he like squeezes them, and then they use that as a mode of transportation.
Hold on to his chest hair, yeah.
Wow. No, a little different vibe than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This was pre-cheeseburger. What
do you
I need a
mean?
notepad.
This is
No.
pre-cheeseburger?
Oh, do you not remember this? When
What are you
like...
talking about?
Oh, David Hasselhoff had his like daughter film him while he ate a cheeseburger and was like, you like, call me a bitch, let me eat this.
His daughter?
Yeah, he's insane.
Why
Like
did he
truly
do
like
that?
breakdown moment. Oh, who can guess the motives behind like a insane crash out? But yeah,
Sorry, Jordan's stomach just made the
My
loudest
stomach just growled so loud. This is
Did
one of
you
our
hear
more
it?
chaotic
I brought up
episodes.
cheeseburger.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. This episode is one of our more chaotic
It is.
episodes. Wow.
The most chaotic thing being that Jordan has her laptop out with trying to buy Beyonce tickets.
I'm on the
You're
Beyonce
doing it.
pre-sale. There's 20,000 people
This
in front of
explains.
me.
I'm like, she's having so much trouble. Is she not looking at her notes?
I'm looking at my notes in a way. I am
having so much
there's
trouble.
notes. There's also notes, but I'm looking at a couple things, and one of them is the Beyonce
good
pre-sale.
Lord.
Literally, best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. I don't think we're gonna get it, but
Ugh.
hey, we're all trying our best. All right. So then that sounds like you would have sex with Clint Eastwood,
Absolutely. With that fucking cowboy hat on, with
Come
that
on now.
squint in his eye.
even knowing that he's such a weird old freak.
They're
now.
all weird
I'm not.
freaks, though.
That's so.
Okay.
Like, at what point do we not all become weird old freaks?
Sure. Okay. All right.
Okay, Mary. No. Okay. Okay.
Now we've messed it up so much we have to keep it in.
You all
I like this segment, right? It's hard for us to remember. Do people like it? I think
takes
they do.
9 times
Comment
longer because we
below.
repeat the name of it
Yeah.
50 times.
So okay,
What's
here's the next one. U-Haul one night stand ghost, protein powder, dude wipes, a Scarface poster.
Okay. Ghost a Scarface poster because old movies boring. I like new
Kendahl
movies.
feels.
I feel the same.
I appreciate them from I'm the same with musicals. I appreciate them from a distance, but it was made before 1990. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to be involved in that. And then U-Haul protein powder because it's just it's a great little extra bit.
Okay.
It's
Reliable.
reliable.
I do feel like you two are similar.
We are.
I'm getting that vibe already. Wow.
I think we have a very similar upbringing.
Wait, 'cause
really?
You know about her lore.
Oh my God. I was like, wait, are you just getting that vibe from me? But I guess you might know some what upbringing.
All I know is that you were like a musical theater nightmare in high school.
Well, because I was so bad at it.
That makes
Yes,
sense why I'm
yes,
so
yes.
drawn to you then. Because you
Oh.
are similar to Kendahl.
Ooh.
Kiss him.
We'll save that for the Patreon.
Yeah.
And then so you would
You'd marry
Marry-
dude wipes?
Yeah.
wait.
No.
You'd one night stand dude wipes.
One night
okay.
stand wipes. I'll use them once or twice. Well, I feel like that's a luxury, but also not necessary.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do hate the marketing behind it because it's like, baby, mama, that's a paper towel. Like,
Hey, but you know what I'll say? Maybe dude wipes could have kind of like a huge marketing shift if they started like sponsoring kind of different podcasts. Like this one. I'd promote dude wipes on this podcast.
Jordan, we've already been too desperate on this episode. Stop trying to get more sponsors. This
Sorry.
is embarrassing.
People know that we pay for this podcast ourselves.
We've already begged
We're an
straight
independent
people
podcast.
to.
Straight people.
You
sometimes
can't get
not have
Beyonce
advertising.
We have no advertising.
You got a
We
good
do
amount
not
of
have
views.
a network. Kendahl and I fully independently produce this podcast with the help of our producer Blake, who we also pay.
Oh,
So
I'll
all
take
the
you guys
money-
out to lunch after this.
Thank you.
No, the podcast is doing really well.
Yeah, it's great.
All the money we make though is from monetization or our Patreon.
Yeah.
You know, so we're familiar. But I'm looking for advertisers. So I'm gonna start just kind of like
throwing
stuff out there. Clip it.
No one's
Hopefully
gonna
someone
sponsor
sends
us
it
because we're giving free advertising constantly.
No, I'm not saying anything good about Dude Wipes right now, but I will for money.
We can record 2 versions of this podcast. One where we shit on Dude Wipes.
and one where
the
we
other-
hype them up.
We will release one of these.
Yes.
You decide.
I put on the like V for Vendetta mask and send the Dude Wipes advertising people a message. I'm like, you decide which one we send. Have you guys seen V for Vendetta, or is that movie too old for you?
I understand the references.
Neither of you have seen V for Vendetta?
No.
Oh my god.
I only know about it because in Olive Pendergast reads it in Easy A, right?
I don't know, Kendahl.
Isn't that like what the movie's about? I don't know. I haven't
The
seen that in a long
Scarlet
time.
Letter?
That's the Scarlet.
Oh my god. Man, dude, you are just swinging and missing today like no other.
No, hey, they've both got like letters from the alphabet in them.
You know what, Jordan?
They're so close.
Why don't you head over to the John Wayne Gacy Airport and get out of town?
Oh, we're having fun. You're gonna pop your new titties straight open. Oh my god, Kendahl got a breast reduction surgery if y'all don't know, and she's still healing. I can't believe she's here. She's so brave.
I know. If I showed you what was going on underneath here, you would be like, you're a true professional.
She's a survivor.
She really is.
Cover yours if you're squeamish. They took my nipples off and they reattached them.
I had a friend with a similar surgery, and they swear to God that they switched the nipples. And they're like, I
that's
used to
a movie.
be more sensitive in one nipple than the other, and now they're on the opposite sides.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have any sensitivity, I feel like. Because weren't they chopped off? Do you still have sensitivity?
Oh, this is way out of my spirit of
I know.
expertise. Yeah.
This is a doctor podcast for straight people about Dude Wipes now.
Yes.
Okay, we have one more. We have one more U-Haul Mary Ghost kill.
Nope. U-Haul One Night Stand Ghost. U-Haul and Mary are the same one.
So, U-Haul One Night Stand Ghost, golfing with the boys while your wife is in labor, getting mad and punching a wall, getting into cryptocurrency.
These are all such camp things to do. That's the problem with masculinity is like isolated. If you hear about it in just like its solitary confinement, it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like just over the top, very funny. But then you're like, uh-oh, the real world ramifications.
I mean, punching a wall because you're mad is so funny.
That's hilarious.
If it wasn't scary, it would be really funny.
Can I ask you, and you don't have to answer this, have you done that before?
You know what? No, I have thrown a controller onto the floor and broken it.
Because of a game?
Absolutely.
Well-
that was I did that, and I like stopped. I like paused. I was like, we can't be like this.
Gay men think they're different. They're not.
We're not. We're
Gay
not
men
different.
are one step away
But you
from
know what?
being
This
any other
wasn't-
man.
The difference, what made this gay, was that it was a Smash Bros competition, not like a Call of Duty bullshit thing.
Yeah, so that doesn't make it
Sure.
different.
Okay, whatever you need to say to make yourself feel better. Sponsored by Dude Wipes.
So all one night stand.
Okay.
Punching a hole in a wall
Great.
because honestly, we all have to do it at one point.
Sure.
Yeah, we all have to do
We all
it.
have to do
I
it.
said what I said.
I've
Kendall.
never, it's crazy because I, as a kid, thought, okay, well, crazy guys, bad guys do that. And I had this most quiet friend in high school who was so calm and sweet, and he loved Nightmare Before Christmas, and that was kind of his thing. And I went over to his house one day, and there was a hole in the wall, and he was like, I punched a hole in the wall. And I was like, oh my God, every guy does this.
The horrors come for us all. Yeah. I saw a TikTok once where someone punched a hole in the wall and then they put a little frame on it and said like Jeremy's mistake or something. I was like, that's great.
Yeah. Shame is an incredible tactic.
Oh, it really is.
All right, so you one night stand, hole in the wall.
Hole in the wall. Ghost cryptocurrency because who's got time for gambling? And then what was the other one? The first one?
You would U-Haul going golfing.
Go and golf with the boys while the
Well, your
woman
wife is in labor.
Hilarious.
Hilarious!
Hilarious.
You're like, I don't even
I'm
golf.
sorry.
I just did it when she went
I'm
into
sorry,
labor.
Are there not doctors next to her? Does she have no support? Give her a little fidget spinner or a squeeze toy. She's
Yeah,
fine.
give her a fidget spinner. Send her off.
Jeez. I did my work 9 months ago. I don't know what she needs me for.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure great work it was. I'm sure men are doing great. Absolutely.
It was the
incredible
best
work.
3 minutes of her life.
I need to know, is there one sex with a man that stands out in your mind as the worst sex you've had?
Yeah. So I'm not a size queen.
Sure.
So generally when men present themselves as like just someone who presents girth, that's when I kind of like
you're bored,
leave the room. And it's not so much boring, it's that I'm like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, you just have a large tool to use. So generally that's like the indicator of someone who's pretty bad at sex or not so interesting in bed. They're not going to show me anything.
I mean, it's like someone who's really hot and has been hot forever, so they've never had to try.
100%.
So they just kind of
I need everyone to stop looking at me when you said that.
Sorry, I don't want to.
Did you hear that?
I don't need to
feel like right on me.
Sorry, I'm just a size queen, so I got distracted.
I want to know, because I feel like in the fitness space, there's so much. Masculinity plays a huge role in it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that is shifting? Do you feel like, how does it affect you? What relationship do you have with it? I know I just asked 3 massive questions.
No, it was great. I actually just finished up a video on YouTube about the Velvet Rage, which is a book about, it's kind of like just a psychological presentation of like why gay men act certain ways. And the premise of the video is that I don't think it's a very good book because it claims to like help heal when all it does is just kind of like diagnose. And I'm like, you can't just like tell men why they're bad and then leave them to figure it out. They're just going to blame someone else. So something that it brings up though, actually, can you repeat your question?
Of course. I wish I remembered it, but I
was, as soon as you asked that, I said, uh-oh.
Well, so, just like, what is your relationship to masculinity? Do you feel like it's, I think my first question was, do you think it's changing the role masculinity plays in the fitness space?
Yes. So like being masculine isn't a bad thing. Like to want to be a provider or to want to like be strong isn't bad. It's yielding those powers over someone else because you're insecure about how much strength you actually have. Like that's where we get messy. And the problem now is that there's just so much validation online for people who are insecure but don't want to admit it. So like you just go in all of these different spaces and people are like, yeah, well, like once I get this big, I'm finally going to attract those ladies that aren't interested in muscle. And then you have all these people in their comments being like, yeah, brother, I'd fuck you. I don't know why these women don't want to. And it's like, yeah, see, okay, we're circling the drain a little bit. And that's like the biggest problem. I think there's just too much validation for people's stupid thoughts and not enough like just to stop and breathe for a second and figure out why we might be having these stupid thoughts.
Yeah.
Because it's not fair. I think about my stupid thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
These dumbos, they have to think about them sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself attracted to masculinity?
Oh, 100%. Who isn't, though? Who isn't?
I know I am.
Who doesn't want daddy's love occasionally? You either want mommy's milkers or daddy's love.
I can't talk about mommy's milk. I'm in a sensitive span.
Oh, because of the breast reduction.
Because of the breast reduction. I'm almost into the Beyonce room. I need you guys to know. There's wait, everyone, hold on. Sorry. This
my
isn't
masculine man.
This isn't a straight podcast about dude wipes. This is a gay podcast.
Beyonce. No, this is genuinely more important.
Everyone be
kidding.
okay for 1 second. I already entered this promo code.
Oh,
I'm getting mad.
This is what's going to be hard is if Jordan doesn't get these tickets, and then we're going to have to continue the podcast.
I'm going to punch a hole in a wall. I'll tell you right now. You're about to experience some toxic masculinity if I don't get these Beyonce tickets.
It comes for us all.
Are you going to do the whole thing? Where you're going to pick
Hold on. What do you mean am I going to do the whole thing? You thought I was going to get in and not buy tickets?
Don't know. You're in.
Hold on.
Jordan's panicked, so they're going to get like front row seats.
No.
What? Did you get them?
We did it, girls.
We did?
Good job. What'd you get?
We did it. Don't look at it.
Okay, why?
I just want you to know about it.
Wait, what?
I just want you to look at the price.
Oh, that's okay. Can I see? I'm just interested. What seats did you... That's for 1 ticket?
No, 2 for me and Kelsey.
I was like, oh my God.
No, for me and Kelsey.
So we got live on camera, you getting those Beyonce tickets.
Wow. Okay, well, that took 8 years. So we're checking.
No. That was worth it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's truly one of the least professional things I've ever done. But why do they do this in the middle of the workday?
In the middle of a workday.
It's actually a war on the working class.
How do you feel, though? Are you relieved?
I feel relieved. I didn't go like way out of my budget. I got the tickets for the right day at the right time. It's more than anyone should spend on anything, but I got the tickets.
Is this a Beyonce
bad.
thing, or is it a live music thing for you? Are you a concert lady, or do you enjoy a Beyonce?
I enjoy a Beyonce. I like a concert. I was a real concert head when I was younger. I lived right by a music venue in South Florida called Revolution.
Okay.
And it was like a big concert venue, and I would go see a lot of stuff there. I used to be really into like bands and indie music and like the whole shebang. But now as an adult, I think I've done it. And so, but we went to Renaissance. I got Kendahl tickets to Renaissance for Christmas. We went to Renaissance. It was unbelievable. I've always been a huge Beyonce fan. Yeah. I'm a really big Destiny's Child fan specifically. I'm a really big Kelly Rowland fan. But love Beyonce, and Renaissance was so incredible. It was my first time getting to see her. I have never been a spend a lot of money on concerts person, but now it feels like that's the only option.
Well, I mean, to see the greats, yeah. It's
but
weird.
Even not.
There's two extremes. Either it is dirt cheap and you can like stand and watch someone perform for 3 hours, or it is like a month's worth of savings.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's really no in between. My ex is really into live music and I'm not. So when we were in a relationship, I got spoiled because he would just like be at all the good ones because he has good, but just better taste than me. And knowing that, I just know in my heart that I am not a concert boy, because if I can be ushered in and have all the work done for me and still complain about standing for too long, it's just not the
That's
cards.
how I'm the same exact way. I'm not a huge concert person. Renaissance was absolutely amazing, and I was so glad. And I was kind of like, I want to go see Beyonce one time in my life. I have to go see her. But no matter who it is, even if it is my favorite singer on earth, like we saw Florence and the Machine, who's my favorite band of all time. And after about 3 songs, I'm like, okay, I saw it. Let's head home. And people are like, encore. And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, I have so much love in my heart for my favorite artists. I don't ever want to experience them with a cramp. I don't ever want to be, like, I was sitting in front of, I was watching Ray perform.
Unbelievable.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
She could not have sounded better live yet. I was like, when are we going to wrap this up, though? Because I'm like kind of tired now. Right. And I just don't want to have those. I feel like that's insulting to the artist and their artistry. I just don't appreciate it. My one claim to fame, though, is that when Lady Gaga was just starting and like Just Dance was like really hitting the radio hard and everyone was becoming obsessed, there was this toy drive in San Diego, because I used to live there, and if you brought in a toy you could see an artist perform, and for 5 days of the week they had different artists, and Gaga was on a Tuesday, just overcast
long
day.
Time ago.
And there was like maybe 400 people in an IKEA parking lot watching Gaga perform with 2 backup dancers. I was like a foot away from her. It's amazing.
Oh, that is so fun.
We had that with Doechii.
We had that with
Doechii like years ago.
Well, we were like at an influencer event, and they had hired Doechii to come perform, and there was a stage where singers would sing, but no one was at it. It was like everyone was drinking and chatting, and it was where was it at? It was at the Hearst Mansion,
maybe. It was like weird.
That feels like that might be wrong, but it was at some crazy mansion, and she was there, and there was just like 5 of us in front of the stage being like, yeah. And now it's crazy. Now she's like the most famous person. Anyways,
and well deserved. She's incredible.
Yeah. Sorry, back to masculinity.
Let's focus up, okay? I'm sorry.
Genuinely, very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Normally, I'm on top of it, but I was,
no, I get
it. I was.
It would be insane for me to sit here and be like, I'm more important than Beyonce. I'm not going to kid myself.
I think you are.
Thank you, Kendahl. You're wrong.
And she's lying. All right, let's get into some questions from our listeners.
Hell yeah.
This first question comes from our Patreon, and this person says, how can I deal with toxic masculinity trauma? My ex was disgusting. He would punch holes in walls and rip his shirt off when he was mad. I'm so sorry. I hear your trauma, but that is a funny thing to do.
Masculinity is hilarious.
That's a wild thing to do, to rip your shirt off. They say, it was terrifying. My current boyfriend is so much better. He's a sweetie and rarely gets mad. But when he does, he will scream profanities like something horrible has happened. Scares the shit out of me. How can I politely tell him that his behavior is really triggering for me?
That's tough. Because it's like, that behavior is just really not acceptable, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really not, like, I've never, I mean, I guess unless you're like, if it's unrelated to, but I couldn't handle that. If it's like, he burns something in the oven and he's like, fucking shit, fuck.
Oh,
like that.
Yeah, where's the lie? Like, if he gets into a car accident and is like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's normal.
I actually, because I felt very similarly the other day. My dog got in a little tussle with the skunk, and my roommate comes out. I'm in like the backyard, and I'm just like dealing with the issue at hand.
Did the dog get sprayed?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
God.
he smelled like a skunk. My dog
really
hates water, and it was like 11 p.m. at night, so I
Sure.
can't take him in anywhere. And my roommate comes out and is like, "P.U. What happened down here?" Like truly Lucille Ball coming into the scene. And I turn to him. I'm like, "This isn't about you, but I am so incredibly angry right now. You need to leave right now." And so I was like, "That's my way of dealing with things." I was like, as long as I can let the person know that the anger is not directed at them, but I am incredibly angry.
Yeah.
I feel like I can navigate it. So I think that's it. Like, if someone is directing it towards you and it is not your responsibility to take it, like, that's unacceptable and it needs to be dealt with. But just like helping someone find the proper avenues of communication so they can just talk about their emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
I also think that's good too, because it's unreasonable to expect someone to never get upset or mad or anything. And even if it's triggering for you, it is natural and normal for that person to feel upset sometimes.
Yeah.
So I think finding a way together to be like, what's something where we can both get our feelings out?
Yeah.
So is it maybe like they give you a heads up like, hey, I'm feeling real angry. I just got to let some sound out of me. And you go in the other room and put in headphones and take a shower or whatever, like whatever thing you need to do. And then they get to just yell. Sorry, I burped. Hold on. My body's turning against me. This really is one of our most chaotic episodes we've ever filmed. We all got stuck behind a car accident on the way here. Okay.
I just want everyone to know listening, I'm usually like so funny and so on it. I'm so smart and capable, but like there's just a lot of chaotic energy, so it's hard to focus.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm usually like so much funnier.
I'm sorry, and we're keeping you from being able to do any of that, and I feel really bad, and I'm really sorry.
Truly.
I'm really sorry. What was I saying? You have no clue. I don't know why I asked you.
I remember you were really sure of it though. You were
I
like,
was too.
You were like, here's what I'll say about that. What? Here's what I'll say about that. That's what you did.
I do say it like that. No, I think it's just like, yeah, maybe you just go take a shower and put the music on and you're in the shower and taking a nice relaxing shower and they get to just like be in your bedroom and like scream fuck into a pillow for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I think you have to find a way where you can both get it out.
Yeah, my thing is I usually just need to be alone. I usually just need some time to like decompress. Like, let me scroll mindlessly on my phone for 15 minutes. I'm not going to absorb any of it. Let me just like take some time.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually pretty good.
Yeah. I think this takes us to a great question that we got on Instagram. What do you think the border is between toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity?
Like oppression, like the oppression of others is basically like if you are stomping on someone to display how cool you are, then we've got an issue. If you're just like, it's your Instagram page and you love like chopping wood and, you know, down in the brewskis, like there's like, who is that harming?
Well, I also think it's like masculinity is not, I think it too, if it's like healthy, it would go to any gender as well. It's like, well, masculinity doesn't have to stop at a man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, if you're okay with if it doesn't upset you to have a woman chopping wood, masculine on Instagram.
Masculinity is a vibe. It's not a gender. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to butcher this. Martin Luther King says like the answer to power is love. Like in order to use power properly, you need love and compassion. And I think that's it. It's like it can't be born out of spite or needing something from someone else.
Ooh, the needing is so true. It's like it should just be something that's like about you for you and not about your position or context to like other people.
Yeah. I do think that's where a lot of miscommunication happens though, because like a lot of men are like, it's like the not all men crowd. It's like they see themselves as like just an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
And they haven't like associated their role in the whole like, you know, metaverse yet. And so when people are like, you're doing this wrong, they're like, but I'm just a little baby boy who hasn't done anything. It's my birthday.
It's always their birthday.
Always their birthday.
Typical response. But yeah, so then you get into like this tricky, just like blame game, and it gets really difficult.
I do want to know, is there anything that you feel like to you feels very personally masculine that maybe is not traditionally thought of as masculine? Because I have one.
Ooh, go first. Because I don't know.
Eating a whole fish. A whole fish, head on.
Bones?
Deep fried. Bones. I don't have to eat the bones. But like I'm presented with a whole fish, a whole fried, steamed, baked, whatever, grilled, a whole fish.
Okay.
I'm eating the whole thing. I'm getting in there with my hands.
I just imagine this like Tom and Jerry sticking a fish in your oven, and then the bones
Tom and Jerry to be two of the most masculine men I can think of. But yeah, honestly, yeah, I do think that's that's not what I was referring to. But when I stop and think about it, sucking a fish carcass, full meat from its core, yeah, I do think that's extremely masculine.
Delicious. I can't argue with that.
But that's when I feel particularly masculine. When I am eating a whole fish.
This isn't so like untypical, to use a word that doesn't exist, but like when I can like fix something without doing the proper avenues of repair, like if I can just grab some duct tape and like cover up a hole in the wall that I punched earlier, like that's when I'm like, fuck yeah, I can do anything. But that's already kind of like a male stance, a male role. But yeah, anytime...
Laziness is what it sounds like you're describing.
Okay, all right. Again with the attacks. No, but like any problem I can solve with a zip tie, I'm like, yes,
wow,
I'm powerful.
Interesting.
I get that.
Yeah,
I love that.
You have one?
Mine's embarrassing. The only thing I can think of, I was trying to think of when do I feel really masculine.
Yeah.
And it's when I pump gas, which is absolutely insane because I think I'm just holding something that kind of feels like a gun.
Phallic. Yes.
No, but I think that's true. You're kind of taking control and care of our car, and I think I play into it. Because
I'll be like, hey, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything about just like the phallic imagery of shoving into?
Sure.
Shoving it in there.
Yeah.
And then
penetrating
holding
our car.
Holding it there. You also have to flex. Here's what I'll say about gas stations. When I was growing up, my mom always put the thing on the gas pump that made it to where you could walk away. That has never worked for me.
Our car, that just simply does not work.
I don't know if it's how that would be related to our car. I feel like it's I don't know if they maybe I don't know if it's just quality control, but that's never worked for me. So I always have to hold it, which really makes you have to flex my non-existent bicep for like a really long time.
Hey, there's a bicep there.
You're very strong.
You physically couldn't move your arm, but there wasn't. There's something.
Thank you. But it feels like you have to really flex it with the gas, and I like that. That feels good to me.
And I was saying I play into it because I don't like to pump gas. So I'm like, baby, can you pump the gas, please? And then Kendall's like, I got it, and gets out. And...
You know what I do that's really embarrassing, though? What? If I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt, a t-shirt at all, and I'm pumping gas, sometimes nobody's there. This is just for me. I roll up the sleeves so they're just a tank top.
Get your foot on the tire. Just a nice tall stance.
Yeah. I really do feel, and then I like slam the little the tiny door shut.
I slam it.
That's when I feel most masculine.
Makes you feel like a giant.
Yeah, exactly.
Real Captain Morgan over here.
I love that. This person says, I find myself filling the masculine role in all of my lesbian relationships. Any advice? And my impulse is to say, does that make you upset?
Yeah.
Because I guess if you like that, I think that's totally fine. I think a big thing about the three things that we just said that kind of illustrates it is masculinity is like kind of made up, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, what does it really mean if you stop and break it down? It's like almost kind of nothing, right? Like if like fixing something without reading instructions and sucking on a whole fish are both giving you that same vibe. It's like, what is masculinity?
I do think we have to say your answer is kind of weird, so it's hard to compare.
Okay. I'm not taking notes today, thank you. I just got
hard
Beyonce
to use it
tickets.
as kind of a example of what we're talking about.
But
but I agree with you.
If you feel like your partner is making you be quote unquote the boy and that doesn't sit well with you, just have a talk with your partner about it.
This is literally what I mean when everyone wants mommy's milkers or daddy's love. If you are the person who's solely responsible for giving daddy's love, but you want mommy milkers, that needs to be communicated.
Yeah. And also you might need to take a look at yourself. Are you providing, to use the term, daddy's love? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you immediately come in bringing those things?
And are you asking for mommy's milk?
Yeah, and then are you upset when people only want you for masculine stuff when you're coming in giving all masculine stuff? Maybe you need to kind of reassess like what you're giving versus what you actually want, or maybe you need to communicate with your partner that you want something different than what's being given, or maybe you like what you're given and you're just like, is this weird? And to that, the answer is no.
Yeah, to that, add a strap on. Let's go. Hell yeah.
Do whatever. Nothing
Cheers.
Matters. Live your life. Okay, I have the next question for you. Is it possible to have an equitable division of labor in a relationship with a cis-het man?
Good luck, Diva. Oh,
I
yes.
No,
I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think both our responses are correct.
What do you think?
There's so many variables because it's like, what do you guys do for work? How often are you home? What do you want the home to look like? Do you want it 50-50 or are you cool with you make more money, so I stay at home more often with a 30-70 split? Like, it's so different. I mean, I think the best thing to do is start at 50-50 and then just see where your comfort zone lies. But I'm no therapist.
And none of us are. And that's what's so important to remember about this Dude Wipes podcast is that none of us are therapists. But I'm like, anything can be anything you want it to be, as corny as that sounds.
Yeah.
I'm like, my parents have
an
equal division of labor. I think my parents do a good job with it, and I've seen other straight couples do a good job with it. I think the most important thing is being on the same page about what you both consider labor.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes like one of you is doing something that the other one doesn't see as labor or feel is labor, and it's like you need to be on the same page as that. But like my parents do totally, and my parents I would say don't even do necessarily the traditionally like masculine feminine roles. You know what I mean? Like my mom does a lot of traditionally masculine stuff. My dad does a lot of traditionally feminine stuff. But I think my parents are very much on the same page about how much work the other person does.
For sure. I think that like the line in the sand, I think, is if a man thinks that doing more work equals like oppression for him, like asking for more is not the death sentence that you think it is. It's actually just kind of like bringing you up to speed with everyone else. And it just like depends on how willing they are to have that conversation.
Well, right. But then it's so hard because, I mean, first response is like, of course it's possible to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, and I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I think sometimes I'm like, it feels really hard because the mental labor that is happening is still there. And I feel like when you have a guy that really is like, I want to do good feminism, it still, that also puts back a bunch of labor on to the woman in the relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think even like you'll see, I mean, every straight couple in our life that we're close with is wonderful. And I feel like in their personal relationship, I'm like, yeah, that feels 50-50. That feels great.
Yeah.
And when you watch them have kids, I'm always just surprised by how everyone reacts to the father. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like he picks up the child and they're like, he's such a good dad. He's such a good dad.
Perfect, yeah.
And I am like, to me, that's even, which that's not even something you can control. So it's like, what are you going to do about it? But that's also inequality in labor because it's like we have one person doing the same thing and getting all of this adoration and love and one person not getting it. And that does build up to like emotional labor.
Totally.
And I hate using the word emotional labor because it makes me feel like Gen Z, which I am.
Ugh, I know. I'm like, we were talking about like trauma earlier from the pandemic and stuff. And I'm like, nothing makes me feel more than like a stupid dum-dum than being like, I'm traumatized from something that happened. My parents didn't love me enough. It's like, come on, get over yourself.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's like when I go to the doctor and they're like, it says here you have ADHD. And I feel like the need to be like, yeah, but like I actually like, I actually got a diagnosis.
Like,
I've had it for like a long time, way before it was cool. Just
super functioning and also like very smart about it.
Yeah, the doctor's like, I do not care.
Yeah. Do not speak to me. Are you Gen Z?
No, thank you though.
You're welcome.
Are you Gen X? Just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody thinks Kendahl's so nice.
We are gonna watch you punch a hole in a wall by the end of this episode.
No, I would say it's really shocking to me when people get so mad. I really almost never get mad.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Just men punching holes in walls.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were still talking about the other thing. I was like, what do you mean? That makes sense.
No,
yeah.
just think about that. I just almost never feel mad.
Well, because why? How embarrassing.
Truly.
You're uncontrollably mad right now? Why?
Truly.
The only time I
embarrassing.
get it is when I got on Vyvanse. And it really
scary.
opened my eyes up because I got on Vyvanse and then they put me on like a really high dosage because I needed it. But then I had to get on a lower dosage because I was like, it's making me. It was the first time I understood like wanting to punch a hole through a wall, and not for any reason.
Yeah.
I'd be like, they're out of the sour cream right now at Taco Bell, and Kendahl would be like, I'm gonna kill you, and I would be like,
See, I'm too insecure. Everything is inward. So like all of my problems stem from me thinking that I'm dumb, I'm lame, I'm not good enough. So rarely is there ever a case where I'm like, you're the problem. It's always just like, you're right, I'm stupid.
Yeah, they're out of the sour cream. You're like,
I
I just
That's
couldn't
my
fucking
fault. I
find
come
it.
earlier.
Probably.
Yeah.
wow.
Well, you shouldn't. You're
Stop
incredible.
that. Yeah.
You're right. I'll stop. Thank
You
you.
are perfect.
Yeah, I think you got to work on that. I'm sure no one's told you, but you got to work on that. This person wants to know how to help their male partner work on some internalized messaging about being a quote unquote real man.
Okay.
How do they help?
Stop being a little puss.
Yeah, just tell your male partner stop being a little puss.
Oh
What
my
do they mean?
gosh.
Like,
I think they're meaning like their partner has a lot of weird internalized like stuff tied to being a quote unquote real man, and they're like, how do I help my partner get past that?
I mean, that's the thing. Figuring out what you like and what you don't like, I think, is important. If you're doing something because you think other people need you to do it, then it might not be that important to do regarding, vibes, masculinity. But I think, like, that's the thing. I think there's plenty of healthy, real man outlets that you can do. Like, I feel like if I want to feel masculine, like lifting weights is a great way to do that, but also like going to a gun range or something and just like having something.
isn't it funny though how it really at the core? Because I feel the same. I've never been to a gun range, but I would be like, if I was chopping wood, I would feel very masculine, and it's like.
What is that?
It's like, it's a core. I can be as like gender as a made up construct as I want, and then all of a sudden I'm like, give me an axe. And I am daddy.
It doesn't make sense.
What is that? Do you feel like at being a personal trainer, you meet, I'm sure, many, many people who are there for the same reason. Like, as a personal trainer, do you feel like you get a lot of clients where you're like, feel weird about the reasons they're coming as a man, where you're like, this is kind of embarrassing? Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm never like, wow, you're embarrassing. Honestly, like a good 60% of the people that come to me, I'm like, no, baby, you need a therapist. Like, that's not.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, if they're like coming being like, I want to be a real guy.
I used to joke with my ex because he was a therapist, and I was like, we should have a joint business where they come to me, feel terrible about themselves, and then they take a shower and I send them to you, and you talk about why they feel terrible, and we make twice as much.
That would be a really good business.
Yeah, just one studio, just cycle them through like a car wash. Yeah, it is crazy how just people they just invent the ideal and then will always leverage themselves against that.
Yeah.
And I mean, personal training, I feel like I'm like the just a guard on the front lines of like, no, up, we're not bad because we gained a pound. Like, up, hey, ho, like just guarding those soccer balls from entering the goal of discrimination.
I feel like what you need to do is you need to sit your partner down, and then you need to open TikTok and you need to type in real men into the search bar, and then make your partner watch the first like 10 videos. My guess is they'll be the most embarrassing videos you could ever possibly imagine. And I think your partner will be like, oh, this is what people who think they're quote unquote real men are behaving like. This is so embarrassing. I need to distance myself from this.
I do wonder how much it's related to sexualization though, because it's like how many like real man like workout channels are also just like softcore porn for people.
Sure.
100%. There's a lot of stuff like that on the internet.
Yeah,
where I'm watching it and I'm like, something about this feels pornographic.
Absolutely. Oh, those cooking videos where people are just like slapping bread around.
And they're like, you're going to put the hot dog in the pasta?
Yeah, I've read so many think pieces and watched so many videos about how those are like voyeurism porn and like a whole,
that is another group of people on the internet that I'm jealous I did not do that instead of doing comedy. I'm like, if I could just stick pasta and hot dogs and have Jordan film it and be like, yummy, and we were millionaires.
Take a roll of crescent dough and just slap it on the counter over and over again.
Oh my God,
Mansion.
Mansion.
Huge mistake that we didn't do that.
But I think that it's also hard because, and I I just feel like you probably have to deal with so much emotions as a personal trainer. Because I feel like the first question a personal trainer always asks, they're like, well, what are you wanting to accomplish? And I feel like you must get insane answers where people show you a photo of like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or like, I want to be this so my wife doesn't leave me.
It totally depends. Yeah, because it's like, the most frustrating thing is either people asking if I think someone else is on steroids, because they're just asking for my, if I'm allowing them to compare themselves to them. Like, if they're on steroids, then they don't have to treat that as the ideal. But if they're not, then I should be able to achieve that. So it's like, I have to kind of, it's less people like breaking down in front of me and more people just being like, is it all right if I believe that I'm worthless if I don't look like this? Right. And then I have to say, no. Sometimes yes. But
Now I do want to know how many people are on steroids. Like, what's the
so many? Oh my God, so many.
Really?
So many.
And it's not as obvious as you think, right? Because I think people have a picture in their head, and it's like, well, that's a lot of steroids.
The thing is, like, we idolize a body that is so unobtainable already, and we say that's normal. So like, we look at like Chris Pratt in Jurassic Park and we're like, that's the ideal body, right? Meanwhile, he's been working out with a trainer for years, he's doing all this stuff. So it's like, already we're starting at an unattainable place, and then we look at people who are past that and being like, have they been altered in some way? Actually, what I like to see is like, I don't consider it whether you're juicing or not to be the question. I kind of look at your resources. So do you have more time in your day than someone else who works a 9 to 5? Do you have time to spend 2 hours in the gym every day? Do you have money to buy all the food that is necessary to build? Like, the resources that you're allowed make a bigger difference than just the things you inject in your arm. And I think there's not enough attention to like the economics of a daily procedure to that. Like, once people kind of see like, oh, they spent this much on their lunch, they did this much at the gym, they only had this many calories, they'll begin to see how unrelatable the like fitness lifestyle is. And I think that's a better way to recognize whether or not you can take advice from someone. Because it's like, who cares if someone's on steroids? They're going to look better than you anyway, because being fitness is their job.
Right, but then how? Yes. Right, because then isn't every influencer, most fitness influencers though, they're giving advice to someone who
sucks, right?
Now only does that as
They're like, why don't you eat less, you dumb piece of shit? I do. And it's like, well, gosh, isn't that just wonderful?
Right.
Well, it's like the same thing with plastic surgery, right? Like, where it's like, I look at all these celebrities and I'm like, why don't I look like that? And I'm like, oh, because I work a job and have a life, and like, do think it's not my job to be, you know.
Right. I mean, I got this breast reduction. I feel like it's consumed my whole life. It was
Me too.
Well, I mean, 2 weeks. Today's my 2-week mark of when I got the surgery.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And it's like, it hurts so bad. I like can't lift anything at all. Yeah. I'm not allowed to lift anything. I have stitches all in me right now. And so I haven't been able to do so much. And I think of these people who get all of these procedures done, and they're getting this exact type of procedure all over their body, and they have like 3 kids, and I'm like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I've had to take off work. My mom took off work to come down and help with it. Like, it's so time consuming. It's such a financial privilege, whatever, just to have this like one thing. So it really is looking a certain way as a lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think also looking like, quote unquote, masculine can also be very much a lifestyle. 100%. And I think, once again, like, money...
And it's infiltrated the lesbian scene now.
I'm so sorry.
Do you feel like you're getting more lesbian clients who are like, I want to be jacked?
No. The lesbians.
Because after I saw Love Lies Bleeding, I literally turned to Jordan in the theater and I went, I'm going to look like that. And then I went to the gym every day.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All the lesbians I know, like, say, oh, hey, and then they let me do my stupid little things in the corner. They're above it. They do not care.
I love that.
What?
They don't do the trainers, like they're self-training, you feel like, more?
I have a very good friend, like a lesbian trainer herself. And so, I mean, she's taken all my clients.
Yeah, I love that.
Bitch.
Sorry. I do. No, there is a lot of toxic masculinity in the lesbian community sometimes. And I do feel like it's bled into body stuff in such a way where now it's like so often... I don't know. I'm just like, I miss a fat butch. Like, what's happening to the community? Like, it's become a thing. I'm serious, because now people will be like, oh, like butch, masked, or whatever. And then they show me a photo of Cara Delevingne wearing a baseball cap. And I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the internet truly thinks like Billie Eilish in a big t-shirt is as butch as you can get.
It's sick.
I do think we just go in waves, because in order for people to sell things, to sell either the ideal, the body, the procedures, the pills, you have to look different than how people already do. So like Kim Kardashian got rid of her BBL after everyone got a BBL, and now it's like skinny's back, baby. And so I think it's just constantly shifting those goalposts.
Man, absolutely devastating. Okay, well, we have a bunch more questions about toxic masculinity, but ultimately the episode is over. But we have a 30-minute Patreon mini-sode, and Kevin's going to stick around for that. So if you're interested, go join our Patreon and listen.
Please do. And if you're deciding not to do that and you're ending our journey here, make sure to give us a review to make up for not joining our Patreon. Give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or really anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on Pandora Podcasts now. We're all over. Anywhere you get your podcasts. If you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and like and comment. And most importantly, make sure to have a great week.
Yeah, we're in the Spotify offices as always. We love it here. And Kevin, thank you so much for being here. Make sure everyone will include all his stuff in the bio, but go follow Kevin.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was an honor to be here. You guys are my heroes.
Oh my God, enough.
God.
All right, bye.
Bye.